The goal with charting is to separate the signal from the noise. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Money Flow Stock Market Review and Forecast. I'm your host, Dr. BJ Love, and I'll be bringing you today's review for Monday, September 22nd, 2025. Here at Money Flow, we use time tested methods and indicators that helps us to navigate these markets with confidence, calmness, and clarity. Major averages opened the week at a record high. The major averages nudged to new highs to start the week. The Dow Jones Industrial Average added 66 points and settled at 46,382, while the S&P 500 tacked on 29 points, finishing at 6,694. The Nasdaq gained 158 points, closing at 22,789. Breath, the heartbeat of the market, was positive. The VIX rose 0.65 and closed at around 16. And as we reiterate on the broadcast, every time we talk here, we mention that as long as the VIX, aka the fear gauge, stays below that threshold of 20, you heard us say this over and over and over again, the market tends to grind higher, and that is what we have been experiencing since the threshold of 20 has not been breached. Crude oil prices slipped 4 cents and closed at $62.64 a barrel. Gold prices jumped $76.20 to a new record high and finished at $3,782.30 an ounce. Silver finished today at $44.40 an ounce. Bitcoin closed the session at 112,200, down from the previous day. Just as a reminder, this week marks the last trading week of Q3 or quarter three. Now let's move right into these charts so we can get a visual of what's really happening in the markets. Here we have our foregrid, which is our proprietary view of the four major indices that we track, being the S&P 500, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, the NASDAQ Composite, and the Russell 2000. So let's go ahead and maximize these charts, and we can see exactly what's happening. Remember, this is our weekly chart, which is our long-term chart, which gives us a strong trajectory of the trend that the market is currently moving in. Remember, long-term charts dominate, short-term charts fluctuate. And as you can see here in our proprietary software, we have a green background, which lets us know that the market, or as far as the S&P 500 is concerned, is in a bullish posture. Each one of these price bars here that we see represents a week in time, and they are above a rising moving average of our 10-week and our 40-week moving average, and we have our confirming moving average, the MACD, which stands for the MC moving average convergence divergence. Also lets us know that this uptrend is sustainable and should continue until it breaches this rising moving average. Now, that is your S&P 500 bullish posture. Dow Jones Industrial Average, we have a similar picture. We have a green background. Our proprietary software lets us know that when the background is green, the trend, long-term trend, the dominant trend is up. And we can see as we've been going here over the past, since June of 2025, we have a green background, and as you can see, as follows, the price has been going up, 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 reaching an all-time high. Price being above moving averages with our confirming indicator, which is the MACD, letting us know that this trend is projected to continue. High probability of continuation of prices moving higher. Moving on down now to the NASDAQ Composite, similar pattern. Ever since the background turned green back in May of 2025. Every week, the price has been going up, 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 hitting a new high this week. And also our confirming indicator letting us know that this trend should continue. 90% probability has been proven, tested, and tried since 1952 by the University of Chicago study that says whenever we have a long-term trend above these rising moving averages, these trends are projected to continue with at least the next few weeks into the future. And that is what keeps us invested, and that is in these markets, uncertain markets, but because we are calm and we're confident and we have clear indication, and that's what keeps us in the markets and keeps us to stay on the right side of the market. And we continue to increase our profits week after week after week after week. Moving on to the Russell 2000, a little bit more volatile, but we do have a green background. Prices are above rising moving averages. We do have our confirming MACD moving average conversion divergence, giving us more assurance that the uptrend should continue with a high probability. So with that said, we have our S&P 500, we have the Dow Jones Industrial. Let's go back to the full grid here. And we have the NASDAQ Composite and the Russell 2000, all in agreement and in congruence that the posture of this market as of today is bullish. All right. So now what we're going to look at today is the what we like to do is drill down. This is what we call our top-down analysis. We drill down from the global market posture, and now we're going to break it down into the sectors that are leading. And our leading sectors today are, go to our sector spiders, boom, and then we're going to flip to our more daily look at the market. We already know the long term is a bullish posture. So we're going to go to our sectors, and we have as our leading sectors, and we like to have investments in these leading sectors because studies have shown that if you are in a leading sector and you have a stock within that leading sector, your upward momentum with relative strength will give you the best bang for your buck. So our leading sectors is communications. Number one is communications sector, XLC. And as you can see, as we move into a weekly view, we can see that, wow, prices have been going up ever since May in the communications sector. If you just buy the sector, you will be invested in many of the high-flying names in the sector. But what we like to do is like to pinpoint one or two of the best value stocks in the sector. And for XLC, our best value stock is DALN, right? And it is Dallas News. And as you can see, we got a breakout signal here on 7/7, July 7th, 2025. And as we got that breakout signal, we were able to invest at around that $7 level. We had a low of 4 that week, and each one of these price bars represent a week. We had a low of $4 that week and a high of $9, and it closed at 8.58. So we were able to invest this in this week of 7/7 at around $7.50, and now we hit a high on the stock here at 16.25. So since July the 7th, we were able to double our investment, especially when you see what is called a volume spike here. We will get into that as we learn more about how to track stocks with the um, tracker that we use, which is the moving averages, and which is also we use with the um, charts. That's why we start our program. We say the goal with charting is to separate the signal from the noise. So we got our signal here. All of the noise is in the background.